Hey, Allen BePro has asked for video responses to this question. What is your first self-defensive gun? So I bought I talked about it once before, it was the gun I wish I hadn't bought. It was an AMT backup. Solid gun. For its day, it was very small, and I think they make the same gun now. I bought it in 380. At the time, they called that. God, this is back in the 80s. So they called it back then a 9mm Kurtz, Kurtz, which meant short. So they weren't calling them a 380 caliber. It was called 9mm Kurtz. Very tough to find ammo for at the time. Now 380s everywhere. You can get some really good loads in it. Then it was a bear to find. But a friend of mine and I went in on it, and it used to bite the heck out of the webbing of my hand. I really disliked shooting it. So I started shooting a 38 revolver instead. I believe it was a Rossi 38. Looked like a Chief Special. Very inexpensive gun. The AMT was not inexpensive. At the time, I think it was around $260, and $260 back in the late 70s, early 80s was a lot of money. It would be like buying a Glock today, the equivalent of around $500. Well-made gun, nice gun. It just, I wasn't good at shooting it. I was not holding it correctly, and once bitten, twice shy. It hurt me just to look at it after a while because it was digging big grooves in the back of my hand. So that was the first one I ever bought. I started doing target practice with my friend's 38 revolver, and I liked that a lot better. We couldn't carry guns in Chicago at the time. We've only recently, 4 years now, gotten concealed carry, and before that, you really weren't even allowed to own guns in the city. So these things were always kept at friends' houses outside the city, and it was a real pain. The next one I bought after those two, after I sort of drifted away from those, was I bought a Beretta Tomcat in 32 auto. I had read a couple articles about 32, and it's very controllable. It's a small round, but it's very controllable. And for close-up work, defensive ranges, it's actually plenty. It's not a ton less effective than a 380. It's sort of equivalent. There's not quite as good loads for it, but it's still a decent gun. I like it. I still have it. I like the Beretta with the tilt barrel. Very easy to work. I kept it at one point. I was going to get rid of it, and then my dad wanted to shoot, and he was having problems racking the slide on a Glock. So this thing, you just pop a little button, and the barrel tilts up, and it's very easy to load and unload. And in a pinch, you could use it as a single shot if you had to. Tip it up, put a bullet in, put it back down, shoot it, tip it up, eject the shell. Nice design. It works really well. I still have that. I don't shoot it as often. It's got a really light single action shot. It often feels like it's double discharging because the second shot is so light. And that's a nice gun. I like that. I like the 32 cartridge all the way around. I have a little C Camp pistol that shoots 32s also, and that thing it disappears in your pocket. But the AMT was the first defensive gun I ever bought. I do not still have it. I traded it in. Actually, I think we traded it in for the 38. Now that I think about it, it's been a long time. Hard to remember what happens with guns you get rid of. But Alan, congratulations. 100 subs is is a pretty big step. Sort of means you're serious and people are taking you seriously. Once you hit the big time, 500, like me, then you know you're really something. Forget those guys with 30,000 and a million viewers. That's just all fluff. It's that 500 mark. That's when you know you've really made it. I'll see you later. Bye. Good luck.